Hey you guys, this is Mary from SVGCuts, and this week I've come up with some really cool garden-inspired Mother's Day elements for this kit. And these projects are going to be really awesome for Mother's Day, especially obviously if your mom or whoever you're making them for is into gardening. And you can also make them for, not Mother's Day, for someone's birthday or really just whatever. So it's going to be a lot of fun to put these together. And as far as picking out your paper goes, it's like so easy because there's so many really cute, girly, flowery, gardeny papers out there. So the paper that I picked this time was by Basic Gray. It's called Piccadilly, and I pretty much used it all up, but super cute. But like I said, there's so many really cute, girly papers out there. So have fun picking your papers. And I would love to see any of these in like any other kinds of papers, especially maybe more pastel or maybe more like elegant, like black and white with like one color accent. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And I think the coolest part of this kit are these two watering cans here that I have. And I wanted to make the big one big enough to really use as a little gift box. So you could really put, like a larger gift in there. And I really like the way that the cutout shows through to the tissue paper, and super cute, pretty easy to put together. So I've got all my pieces cut out to put that together. I'll show you how that works. And then we've also got a really cute little smaller watering can, which is also pretty easy to put together. And totally loving the way this came out. It's really fun to put a couple little embellishments on the handle there. So when you've got your cool gift boxes going, you can make a really cute little card to go with. And I was thinking it'd be really cool to have a more elaborate card to make for your mom or for whoever, but it's also a good idea to have the option of making a real simple card. So that's why I included this super simple card, which I think it really allows like the beauty of the patterned paper back there to just shine and just keeps it simple. Just whip it together to go with your gift. Bam, you're done. So those are fun. And finally, we've also got a really cute new shaped box. We don't have any boxes that are this shape yet. So this is pretty handy for some kind of gift that's, sort of this shape, whether it's some nice socks or a delicate scarf or even some new gardening gloves. So I know I've got plenty of gardening gloves, but when I see a brand new, really cute pair, I'm always tempted. So I can't imagine another gardening woman would mind getting a new pair of gardening gloves too. So those are my projects. I've got all my pieces cut out. I'm going to show you how they go together. And one more side note that I'm going to talk about is this new tool that I've had for a little while now, but I finally was able to use it this week. It is a button shank remover. And I threw away the packaging, and it doesn't say the brand name on here. So when you're out and about at the craft store, if you see a button shank remover, that's what it is. And maybe you could do a Google search too. But basically all it is a really strong pair of clippers that you can use on the back of a button if it has a loop on it. Like in the middle of these two flowers, these were originally buttons that had, like, here's the button, and then down here there's like, it's called a shank. It's like a loop that you put the thread through. So like if you go to Joann Fabrics and you see some buttons that you really want to use for a paper project, but it has that thing down there, you can use these to chop it off. So only on a side note, I would definitely not do it around anything breakable or around like pets or little kids, because when it chops off, the piece goes like flying really hard. So that is a pretty cool tool to have in your arsenal. So that is it. Let's sit down and get started. So let's start with the most simple thing first. And I've got my long box here, and the bottom and the top go together in the pretty much same way. So let's set the bottom aside, and the top, all it is just 4 sides, and you just put some glue here, hold that while it dries, and just do the same thing all the way around until you've got your finished lid. Super easy. So next I've got my more elaborate card here, and I went ahead and I glued my oval onto the front, and I glued my leaves, the top and the bottom part of the leaves together, and then I glued them on the inside of the card right here. So all you're going to do to finish that off is take this inside piece, and you're just going to glue that so that it covers up the other parts and it just finishes it off real nice. So as you can see, I also went ahead and I glued my vellum to this open rectangle that's in this piece, the card base. And then on top of the vellum, I glued my window frame to finish that off. So that's real simple. Also on the back, there's another window frame just to finish off the back. And then you're just going to go ahead and add your other embellishments, like your cute little picket fence back there and your flowers, butterfly, and your little banner. So these flowers are definitely real easy to do. It's just 3 pieces that form the base here. And all I did for each petal was I just pinched it in half like this all the way around. And this is the top layer because it's the smallest. And then the next 2 layers are the same, and I went ahead and pinched those. So I'm just going to take a 3D pop dot, and I'm going to put that between the bottom 2 layers to add some dimension. It's optional, but it just looks nice. And I'm going to fold up some of these petals, and then I'm also going to more sharply fold up these petals. I'm just going to put some glue there and just glue that in the middle there. And then as you can see, there's actually a brown circle underneath this button and just a button on top to make it look cute. So now for our large watering can gift bag, we've got these 2 side pieces, and one of them has 4 little holes cut in it. That's where the handle is going to go, like so. So we want to make sure that that goes in the right place. We've also got the front part here with the cool cutout, and then the back, as well as the bottom. And there are 5 of these shaped pieces, which I already went ahead and glued together. 2 of them have these little flaps here, which you're going to use to affix it to the bag. And you just glue them, just sandwich them all together and glue them together. And then finally we've got this little piece here too. So as you noticed, I've got some eyelets here in the top of my bag, and that is to just protect the paper from tearing when I put some ribbon through it. And these are 3/16 size eyelets, which I got at Michael's. And I've already put them all in except for one here. So I'm just going to put that in the front and then flip it over. And then this little eyelet tool I got, it's by Memory Keepers, I think. I got it at Michael's. And hopefully the eyelet police are not watching, because I don't really think this is the proper size to be using on this one. All the ones I have seem to be a little bit too small, so I'm just using this one. So it's not perfect, but it works. So I just did that on top of my little protected surface here. And it's really not finished off perfectly, but it's good enough for me for now. So next I'm going to glue the front to the side with the holes in it, because that's where the handle's going to go. So it's pretty simple. I'm just going to put glue on this tab here. And I want to make sure I get it all the way up to the edge so that it has a nice hold and doesn't start coming apart. So I've got my glue there, and I'm just going to line it up with the edge along the crease. I just want to bend it and make sure I got it right, because it's kind of hard to see on this patterned paper. So next I'm going to just put the back on the same way that I did on the front. And I didn't do the best job matching this blue paper here, but you get the idea of how it goes together. So just go ahead and do the same thing on this side here. So now we've got the other side piece here, and that's just going to go inside like this. I'm just going to put glue on one tab at a time and line it up along the edge there, and make sure that this is still loose. You don't want to glue that down. So now our watering can is starting to take shape, and I'm just going to flip it over and bend these guys over and just put a nice thin even layer of glue all the way around, and then just position your bottom in place and scooch it around so that it's lined up real nice. So now let's go ahead and fix our cute little nozzle here. And what I'm going to do first is, as you can see, it is shaped like this. And the 2 halves, there's this one tab here, and then on the other side there's this tab here. So just one at a time, I'm going to glue this tab to the other side and hold that while it dries. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to put some glue here, and I'm going to hold that while it dries. So next, all you want to do is put a nice thin even layer of glue on all these tabs going around, and then just position this little guy here. and line it up and hold it while it dries. Then of course you're going to put some more little embellishments on it, like I've done on this cute one here, and I even used my sewing machine to stitch around that little guy. So I've got my handle here, and like I was saying before, there are 5 pieces to it that are all sandwiched together, and only 2 of them have these tabs here to just form these little tabs with the hole in it where the brad is going to go through. But in between the layers there are these pieces here without these tabs. So you're just going to sandwich them all together. It doesn't even matter in what order, just glue them all together and then just bend these out, and then we're going to just put a little dab of glue on this flat surface here on the top and on the bottom. And then I'm going to go ahead and position it onto the side, and I'm going to pop my brad in there and position it on the bottom too as best you can, and just pop your brads in there too, and just go ahead and put all 4 brads into place to finish it off. So next we've got our small cute little watering can, and the pieces are the same for the handle. It's the same exact handle, just a little bit smaller. So it's 5 layers thick. Just sandwich those all together with these 2 pieces like this. And then this is obviously the body of the can, and then the top and the bottom, and we've got our handle, and then finally we've got 4 pieces that make up the spout. So first let's take a look at the body of our can, and we are just going to put a nice thin even layer of glue on this end tab here, and if you want you can go ahead and fold over one of those so you can see exactly where it ends, and then we're just going to wrap it around to form the can body. And I'm going to fold this tab, I'm going to crease it so I can really see where it's supposed to go there, and just line that up. You can even line up this hole here with the hole underneath it to be sure that you've got it in the perfect place, and hold it while it dries. So let's set that aside for now and take a look at our little nozzle here. And if you made the big watering can, this is sort of similar. So all I'm going to do first is I'm going to glue these 2 pieces together here. So I'm going to put glue on the inside down this tab, and I'm going to put glue on the inside down this piece here, and I'm just going to glue them together. But just make sure that you don't glue this part shut. You want this part to be folded back and open, and also over here. So don't put glue on those just yet. Next we've just got this little piece here, which I'm just going to glue right onto the nozzle, and it just adds little reinforcement. So next you can sort of start to see this part take shape here. It's going to be like this. So there's 2 halves, and on each half there's 1 tab on the inside of each. So I'm just going to put glue on this tab and put it right there and just hold that while it dries. Then I'm going to do the same exact thing over here on this little tab and just glue that in place. So finally for the nozzle, as you probably guessed, you are just going to put a thin layer of glue around all those tabs, and then just place your little piece right there and hold it while it dries. So next I'm going to take my finished nozzle, and I'm going to look for these 2 little slits here. Might be kind of hard to see, but there's a small slit here and a big slit here. So I'm going to take my nozzle and point the big part in first into the big slit, and just push that all the way through, and then feed the smaller one into the smaller slit up here. And then next I'm going to put glue on these little parts of the nozzle. Actually, here, I'm going to take it out and show you what I'm going to do on the tabs on the nozzle, but you're going to do it while it's still inside there. So leave yours inside, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put glue on this tab and on this tab. I'm going to fold them out, and I'm going to do the same thing on these two tabs here, which are stuck together. There we go. So that's just gonna have glue on it here too, and that's gonna hold it on the inside of your can. So next I'm gonna take my handle here, which again is just 5 pieces sandwiched together with glue, and these parts get bent out, and it goes on the same way that the other handle went on the other watering can. So I'm just gonna put some dabs of glue on this flat surface here, and I'm gonna position it onto the holes. So I've got 2 holes on top of 2 holes here, and then 2 holes on top of 2 holes here. And I'm just going to pop my brads into the holes and open them up on the other side, and then line up these holes, and I'm going to do the same thing over here. So our handle is in place, and next I'm going to just take this and use my brads through the holes to put it in place. And once I get it fastened, I'm just going to fold it over just to get it out of my way like this, so that I can put the top on. So let's just fold over all of these little tabs here, and we're just going to put glue on all of the tabs all the way out to the edge as neatly as you can, just making it nice and thin and even without putting too much on, because you don't want it to get wrinkly or to come sticking out the front. But just do your best and it'll be fine. So now I'm just going to take this piece here and I'm going to just place it on the tabs and just kind of work my way around a little bit, and then I'm going to go over here because I want to make sure this lines up over here, and then just work your way around, moving them around a little bit if you need to, and just glue that in place. And now finally we're just going to put the bottom on by doing the same thing. And anytime you glue a circle onto a bunch of tabs like this, no matter how scientifically perfect it is, sometimes it's just like impossible to get it to line up perfectly, because even if a couple of them are just a millimeter off, it can make other parts of it a little more noticeably off. So to fix that, you can just, first of all, just do your best and just put some nice glue all the way around and just do your best to get it in place. But if you are not a miracle worker like I am not, you can just take some scissors and just trim it off, which is what I did on mine. Because like I said, it's pretty much physically impossible to get it right, just because there's so much margin for error that you can pull your hair out trying to get it perfect. Even though technically it should work perfectly, it's just really hard to get it perfect. So just do your best to line it up all the way around with the edges being curved and lined up, and move it around if you need to. This is probably the most challenging part of any of my projects, is just anytime you have to glue a circle onto a bunch of tabs. So don't be frustrated if yours is not perfect, because it's really hard to get it perfect. So just do your best. Take your time a little more than I am right here. I'm kind of rushing. But for example, if you have some left over here, just take your little scissors and just trim that right off. So I added this little bird charm hanging down on this piece of twine here, and I didn't want it to be flapping around too much because it might fall off of the handle here. So I used some brand new adhesive. It's new to me. It's just these little adhesive squares by Glue Arts, and it worked really well to just pull off a little piece of it and just stick it under the bird. So Definitely like those, and that adds a cute little embellishment. So there you have it, super fun gardening projects. And if you guys make any of these, I would love to see pictures of them on our Facebook wall or in our forum. So definitely share those and have fun. And this week, like always, I used my SVG clips, which I totally love because it always cuts really well and it cuts intricate shapes really, really well. Like this little butterfly down here, I cut it out several times and it was perfect every single time. So gotta love it. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, and happy crafting.
Learn more by visiting www.svgcuts.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and watch all of our crafty videos on YouTube. It's a world of crafty content with you in the middle. SVGCuts.com, inspiring you to live creatively and beautifully.